Good morning. Look, I'm up. It's almost 5 a.m. Whether y'all know it or not, this is the time I get up and I downpour. I downpour my daily thoughts, meditate, listen to God, listen to the birds, listen to just the breath that I'm up to see another day. You know, those are the grateful parts of the day. Now, as I've been downpouring and watching the things that's been going on in the YouTube streets and stuff, y'all, I know we better than this. Check this out. So, I've been looking at, first of all, how Trump's moving. Second of all, the deaths that's surrounding people in my age bracket and how legacies and stuff are under attack. What I got from this is that I don't want this to appear to be racist though, but I'm trying to find a way to, because I'm sick and tired of it. I'm sick and tired of set people that keep so much stuff going. And they're targeting us, like I just heard about the truck driver. It's so much. But then I have to ask God, why? Why are we continuing to go through this? Why are us as black people so full of rage with each other that this is the time where we supposed to be coming together, sitting, strategically putting stuff together? Because if it's us against them and then us against us, how do we believe that we're kings and queens and more than conquerors? We're not even going to sit. Well, yeah, we are. The church. All of these bishops and apostles and snitches. Snitches and bitches. This is crazy. Like me, I mess with the cat, but he straight ratted out Ty Tribbett, knowing that things are saying once done in the dark will come to light, but you straight exposing one another. You want to talk about you trying to keep the church to a certain stature or whatever, but at the end of the day, look at what's going on. What's the difference between church and the world? The world is just being honest about it. The church is the ones that's sitting up here with so many cover-ups. Hey, fellas. Good morning, good morning. All right, look, YouTube and blogging, letting everybody know, get up, get up, get up. Wait a minute, you guys. I'm like, that's something that makes you have to be apologetic, you know? Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, so let's say what I'm doing. Your credit score went there. Don't blame it on the stream. Get your money up, bro. How you say? The door. Please exit. And say I'm sorry for nothing. Hey, you sorry for being nothing, or what are you trying to say? Make it make sense. Oh, hi, gardeners. What I'm doing, about to get my day started. Hold on, you guys. All right, sorry about that. I always have to come and run my mouth, you guys. Now, okay, now come on in here. Look, and you guys push light. You know how I expect to grow. How do you expect for me to be able to get all my lighting, getting the things that I need to um, take this to another level. Like I'm trying to build a platform, but you have to start from somewhere. So that's why I come out on my scooter. I do have an office set up, but it's too complicated trying to do it how the young folks is doing it right now. But anyway, back to this. Now, hi, good morning. I was hearing Deidre Cadden talk about the affair or whatever. He didn't specify. But I'm like, okay, I know they say that Ty Tribbett is a butthole outside of him entertaining. But low key, I went all the way to California. Well, I was down there for a funeral anyway. But I drove looking for Deidre Hatton's church. I went over to where they, Hill City, something like that. I went over there and it was gone. So I'm like, okay, you didn't even tell people like new locations or nothing like that. So disappointments in that I knew about him and his affair on his ex and all that, and didn't judge him. So him sitting up and having a fit about Glorilla. I have feelings about all of this. The church was offended because Gorilla was given the Gospel Award. And my question is, what is the difference from her speaking the ways of the world, but truly trusting God, and church people hiding that they're acting like the ways of the world, but say they're trusting God? I think nowadays in certain professions like hip hop and R&B, they're targeted. Even gospel, these pastors and stuff, you're targeted. Why? Because when you first start this, you forgot how eager you were just to get started. You got comfortable with them people that was actually wrecking up the money that you was going to owe them in the end. They wanted to see how far you would go in these contracts and all of that. And you was moving sloppy. And that's street code or whatever. That you know who you laboring with, right? And you know how people say, oh, they talking about discernment. You have to have discernment to trust somebody. Do you know the streets train you for discernment? If you ever sold dope, you got discernment. If you ever gangbang, spray painted, if you used to hit it up on the wall, you got discernment. If you didn't go and do a lot of time in jail, let me put it like that. In the streets, being a corner boy or a corner girl, first thing you had to know when them police was out there dressing up trying to make you think that they were a basehead, right? Some of them actually were baseheads, and they used to be on and off the clock. You have to know the difference. And then you had the streetwalkers, what you want to call them, people that used to freelance themselves, they're very, very I can, man, there's so much stuff that you'd be like, I don't know if I could say it on YouTube streets, but when individuals are very friendly with themselves and they just so happen to get donations for them spreading themselves around. Back then, you had to know, and you did know. You had boosters. It was so many different categories where you had to have discernment. Just like today, a lot of stuff that be going down. You say how, like, and then oh, I'm so spiritual. Y'all. When I tell you, I'm at my wits end, and I don't try and Bible thump nobody. But my whole thing is, if you don't love me, it's not. This stuff is not so hard, and we're making it so hard, and we're allowing ourselves to be distracted off of stuff that's just keeping it straight real. I mean, it's simple stuff. You love the Lord or you don't. You a Christian or you're not. You a now. I'm trying to see how you got so many prophets and um, pastors and all that, and they constantly divorced and married, kids out of wedlock. Uh, I'm like, how is this so when the Bible have rules? And now, okay, now the things that was downloaded to me. I'm talking about um, l- hating the sin and not the individual. Because you say we fight not against the flesh and blood, right? So why, when somebody look at your sin, whatever it may be, and you get offended because they're attacking your sin as if you are the only one with the sin? Now, is it more so that we get upset that they're calling out that sin because you're not ready to let go of it? Or is it a sin that nobody else has? Like, okay, when pastors talk about homosexuality, this is just one. I'm gonna go down some more, so do not get upset. When pastors talk about homosexuality, right, and saying how disgusting and all this stuff is, but they're doing the same thing, right? Do people get upset because they're talking about the act, or is because they're in the act and they're hiding that they're the act? Or people get tired of them talking about it because they're not trying to, because God is not condemning you because that's what you say the title is. It's about us sacrificing what our flesh do in order to get closer to him. When he says seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, right? That means with all your heart, I'm coming after you. Now, you will fall and stumble and stuff like that. But when you're not actively having sex, like somebody with AIDS, now they can have the disease, but you're not under a is that actually considered sin? Because now I hear the so a man thinketh, but if you're thinking, that's why God said we meditate, day and night. We're praying fervently. We're doing all these things to come after him, right? Then how can what you consider yourself to be a right now state, unless it's premeditated that this is something that you're going to continue to do, and you keep going to him for the same forgiveness or repentance? But when you're trying to no longer or see if this is actually you, what you do is push yourself away from all of that. Go into your your what you call it, your cocoons, and see what you're going to develop out to be. What I feel in every religion, nobody give it 100%, but they want 100 percent of the benefits. If you're not considered the actual, right, you're not even an adopted child. You're more of a weekend. Hi, good morning. More of a weekend child. I'm just trying to get into the brains of us, right? Um, because it's sad the stuff that we're watching on the internet. We're we have amounted to having a president like Donald Trump, a man that's literally having physical fits because of somebody not liking him. And we having people that's following this and don't believe that this is idolatry. You see this man as something, he sees himself as Apollo, as a god, right? Now, he can be a god to whoever wants him to be a god, but then there is a God. There is Jesus Christ. Now, man is making himself a god, but God didn't have to make himself nothing if that's who he is. He's been that from back then, for right now, and for the future, right? And it's just time for us to just take the veils over our eyes. Because look at where us being blind and being against each other, look at where it's taking us, you know? Look at, um, like, we are supposed to be at a place where we're celebrating life. But it seemed like now, life, they want you to live in fear. They want you to not see your worth no more. They want you, now, I do like some things that he's correcting. If you are able bodied or whatever, get out there, get out, know what it is to um, go after not getting all these food stamps, because that actually makes you unhealthy. I know, I got them, you know, with my children and stuff. Yeah, you like, okay, you're not hungry, but um, you're buying all unnecessary things or whatever. And that's just a form of, when we don't have, we compensate, right? So it's no judgment here. So I'm just saying for us to be a little bit more thankful on some things that's challenging us to go deeper within ourselves to see our strengths. We done seen a lot of what our weaknesses look like, but there is some strengths in you. And if you never, it's like if you never exercise, you never lose weight. I'm talking to myself, look at that arm, right? And if you don't use brain muscle, you become forgetful. I've done that when I was going through my bid. I hope that ain't just for jail. But when I was going through the depression and stuff like that, I didn't want to think. I didn't want to see life for what it is today, right? Um, and I learned how to be isolated, secluded, or whatever, however the stuff is being worded now. My kids, they tell me, well, my adults, since they out there in these streets, um, that all I know is from where I'm at, and you basically have to go to school all over again. Mom, you don't call it that. Mom, you don't say this. Mom, you don't. I'm like, wow. Okay, so I'm taking notes just to live. You got people now. I understand this generation, but the respect that you're wanting is just not panning out to um, the respect that you're actually out here worthy to get. Like, a lot of people is riding on other people's coattails. A lot of people are carrying it because it's in the name, but you don't really get to enjoy or get to really have that. Oh my God. You really okay. You really don't get to enjoy the fruits of your ancestors or your parents' labor, and you like, because you have money, Money without character is just a fool with money. But when a person have character and a person has integrity, and nowadays character and integrity is not the same to me as it used to be, because now I'm looking at it. A lot of people walked as if this was that, but they're looped up church house groups and cliques. You're basically just mimicking what you see in them do, but it's artificial. Because I just missed the mark, if that makes sense. I was so into these church house street, and it's crazy when I'm thinking back on how, oh, you just don't, you, like, it may seem like I'm talking about this a lot, but you don't know what it is to detangle this and to see the stuff that you were thinking, but you were made to feel like you were a fool because you was feeling like this. And now for things to become in the past, and you don't know, you're fighting, feeling angry, you're fighting, feeling ashamed, embarrassed, or um, you just take it as, that's a lesson well learned, and just move along. Don't necessarily know how to take this. And some things make you like that get back, like, man, I want to, where I'm from, they say, I want to tear you a new asshole. But you kind of, well, I'm kind of like meditating, trying not to allow myself to be angry and have the compassion for them. But when you hear them still trying to be so cocky, and you seeing the lies that's being told, you like, should I say something or should I not? You know? Wait, hold on. I'm going there. You see my mom? I gotta get something to drink.